Before we start today's video, check out our merch shop, linked in the description down below. Use code AHSOKA in all caps to get $7 off your order. May the force be with you, and enjoy the vid.
Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
What's up guys, Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and in this video we have some great news into the regards of The Mandalorian, Star Wars over on Disney+, the overall Mandoverse. We of course are going to go over all of it, break it all down for you guys, and especially for what this may mean, more importantly for the future of the franchise going forward. Or in other light of maybe what this might be potentially bad for the future of the franchise. We of course are going to go ahead and hop right on into it. Before we do, grab that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're discussing and covering all types of Star Wars related news, leaks, rumors, theories, and breakdowns here on the channel, so if you guys are into any of that, go ahead, grab that subscribe button, and join us here today. The Mandalorian Season 3 has officially been ranked the most watched streaming original of 2023 for US viewers, beating competition from the likes of the Ted Lasso show and The Witcher. It's something of truism that with any streaming service is only as good as the range of original content. This is especially true at this stage in the streaming wars, as various apps and streamers compete to gain and keep subscribers. Unfortunately, streaming services are notoriously reluctant to give an idea on how things have actually performed. The best indications usually come from third-party analytic companies, by which, for whatever reason, a couple of months ago, when the Ahsoka show was still premiering new episodes, for whatever reason, there was a lot of controversy as one of those third-party analytic companies essentially put out, numbers on the Ahsoka show, saying and claiming that it is the most watched Disney Plus show and one of the most streamed shows of the year. It's overly successful. Lucasfilm even took to post a little bit more about it, kind of like tooting their own horn type of scenario, which is by any means not a bad thing. Of course, do take pride in that, take that and celebrate that, of course, and also the numbers do show, as the Ahsoka show alongside The Mandalorian, to have performed very well, with The Mandalorian Season 3 ranking #1 as the most streamed original show of 2023. Loki Season 2 is right behind that in second place over on Disney Plus there as well. If you're a Marvel fan, we have our Marvel channel linked in the description down below. Other shows like Ted Lasso over on Apple TV and the You show over on Netflix ranked 3 and 4. And I know it's not Star Wars related or really related to anything into that regard, but The Bear as well, I have to highly recommend that show. That ranked #8 on this list, and right behind that at #9 is the Ahsoka show. Secret Invasion as well, for those of you that are interested, ranks #7. This comes from, as I had mentioned, a third-party analytic company called Whip Media, as by which a lot of other third-party companies out there have very similar rankings. The stats underscore the fact that Star Wars is Disney Plus's biggest hit in terms of originals especially, with only one of 2023's MCU TV shows making it to the top 5, Loki. Netflix, meanwhile, will be disappointed to see The Witcher ranked so low. Back in 2019, when the franchise had first launched, there had been hopes it would be Netflix's next Stranger Things as into the terms of its success. That there is all besides the point though, however. The point is that The Mandalorian is overly successful, like ranking #1 as the #1 original Disney Plus show and like original streamer show has to say something about it, and I think that is absolutely amazing, even despite some of those mixed reactions in regards to The Mandalorian Season 3. Me and my brother actually recently, just a couple of weeks ago, were discussing The Mandalorian Season 3. Me being me, I was totally diehard over The Mandalorian Season 3 when it was premiering its new episodes, debuting new episodes every week that we talked about, covered here on the channel, broke them down, theorized them, of course, everything in between type of scenario. All the more reason to grab that subscribe button if you haven't already. He, though, however, at the time, didn't really enjoy the Mandalorian Season 3. He thought that the episodes were kind of weak, and they weren't anything in comparison to what the first 2 seasons had to offer there, especially looking back on the Book of Boba Fett, even kind of putting that into the mix of things as well. That, at the time, I think really took an overview look to how the Star Wars community as a whole was also reacting to The Mandalorian Season 3. Either some people were really diehard for it and loving every bit of it, and then others weren't so fond of it. Point being, though, at the end of the day, we were discussing this just a couple of weeks ago, and he was reflecting back over the matter of that, well, now kind of looking back at the show, The Mandalorian Season 3 especially, specifically, he says that he did enjoy it after some time had passed, kind of letting it just sink in, essentially. Which I have to say, I think is a wonderful thing, and I recommend that you guys go back, maybe, pick and choose a couple of episodes from the third season, give them a rewatch, and see what you think about it now. I can honestly recommend that, not just for The Mandalorian Season 3, but all other Disney Plus Star Wars shows. And so, with this year all in mind, this year all being said, this is amazing, this is wonderful, this is great. The Mandalorian Season 3, it's coming out on the top charts as one of the most streamed shows as a Disney Plus original of 2023. It's performed very well analytically, the numbers are there, the viewership numbers are there. Same thing goes for the Ahsoka show. What does this mean for the future of the franchise? You may be thinking that, well, Lucasfilm and Disney are going to want to hop on this one, and they're going to, if for anything, quote-unquote, fast-track The Mandalorian Season 4 to be released by the end of 2024 or even early 2025, by which is something I've kind of, circulated around here on the channel a little bit into those regards, but you can't really rush art at the same time. Looking at it, The Mandalorian Season 4 would look to have a premiere date in 2025 sometime, but looking at the viewership numbers and seeing how it performed oh so well, Disney may want to get a bit of a step in their work here and maybe try to get The Mandalorian's fourth season out a little bit earlier than anticipated. The same thing can honestly be applied for the Ahsoka show at the same time. It's yet to have an official greenlit on a season 2, although there's been a lot of teases and a lot of, here and there from the cast and crew members, especially now that the Hollywood strikes are over, they're able to discuss and talk about it, and a number of them have kind of teased around the idea of coming back for an Ahsoka season 2. Everybody's on board for that and would love to do that. Rosario Dawson, behind Ahsoka in live action, also even recently revealed that Dave Filoni is currently outlining in Ahsoka season 2, but it's not officially greenlit. But also into the same sense of that, well, Dave Filoni was recently promoted at Lucasfilm to Chief Creative Officer, so he does have a lot of say of what the company does in its future. Although, looking at it in the reverse way of how can this actually impact negatively for the future of Star Wars, especially on Disney Plus. The Mandalorian has always been the biggest Disney Plus TV show, with Season 1 releasing alongside the streaming service's launch. Ironically, The Mandalorian Season 1 competed with The Witcher as well, with data suggesting it triumphed back in 2019 too, of course. Lucasfilm will be more concerned by the gap between The Mandalorian Season 3 and Ahsoka, however, which suggests other Star Wars TV shows still lack some degree of that pop culture impact. 2024 is a year without Din Djarin, unfortunately, unless he shows up in Star Wars Skeleton Crew, seeing that it would be the next big live action in addition to the Mandoverse, although I wouldn't get my hopes up for that. Meaning Disney Plus will be dependent on 2 other Star Wars TV shows, that there being The Acolyte alongside Skeleton Crew. And so, that in mind, without a character like Din Djarin, the Mandalorian not appearing in anything Star Wars in the new year of 2024, that could put a dampen on those viewership numbers essentially. Like, people see The Mandalorian, they think Baby Yoda especially, and they come crawling for it, which by any means is not a bad thing. It'll be interesting to see whether The Mandalorian Season 3 has had any impact specifically on that particular brand. Still, hopefully, smart marketing for The Mandalorian Season 4, generally expected to come out in 2025 as I had mentioned, could resolve any issues into those regards of those viewership numbers. Once again, as I had mentioned, there's that potential that Lucasfilm is going to want to actually fast track The Mandalorian Season 4, although I'll discuss that a little bit more detail and in more depth in a separate future video here on the channel. All the more reason to grab that subscribe button if you haven't already. And so, this year all being said, guys, I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. What are you guys looking forward to seeing with the future of The Mandalorian, Disney Plus, and Star Wars of the franchise overall? I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions and theories in the comment section down below. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been Unofficial Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.